Before construction equipment arrives, one of the most important decisions is choosing and evaluating the building site. The location should provide practical access for construction vehicles, materials, utilities, drainage, and eventually everyday residential use. Soil conditions are also important because the foundation must be appropriate for the actual ground conditions rather than simply copied from another project. The final house orientation can also influence daylight, views, outdoor living areas, and exposure to prevailing weather.
Once the site plan is finalized, the construction area can be cleared and prepared. This does not necessarily mean removing every tree, because mature vegetation can provide shade, privacy, and landscape character when it is compatible with the building and site. The building pad needs appropriate grading so that surface water is directed away from the future structure. Temporary construction access and material staging areas should also be considered before heavy work begins.
The foundation is where the future home begins to become a permanent structure. The appropriate foundation system depends on the soil, climate, structural design, local requirements, and building configuration. A reinforced concrete slab is one common approach for many barndominium projects, but it is not automatically appropriate for every property. Plumbing penetrations and other required services that pass through the slab need to be planned before concrete is poured. Once the concrete has been placed and properly cured, the foundation provides the stable base for the structural frame.
Now, the project begins to look like a barndominium. Steel framing is often one of the defining characteristics of a barndominium, although the exact structural system can vary considerably from one project to another. The main frame must be engineered to handle gravity loads, as well as applicable wind, snow, seismic, and other site-specific forces. As the columns and beams rise, the distinctive shape of the two-wing layout becomes much easier to see.
The roof is critical for protecting everything beneath it from weather. Metal roofing is a common choice for barndominium-style buildings because it can provide durability when properly designed and installed. Roof design must also address drainage, flashing, penetrations, ventilation where applicable, and local weather conditions. A well-designed roof can also create deep overhangs that provide shade around the building. This is the stage that gives the project its distinctive identity. The breezeway should not simply be an empty gap between two buildings. It needs to be integrated into the overall structural and architectural design. Depending on the design, the breezeway can become a covered outdoor living area. It can also create a strong visual connection between the front and rear portions of the property. With the main structure protected by the roof, exterior wall systems can begin to define the final appearance. Exterior cladding can range from traditional metal panels to wood siding, fiber cement products, brick, stone, or combinations of these materials. Large windows can bring daylight into the living areas and establish views toward the landscape. Large glass doors can also strengthen the connection between the interior and the central breezeway. This stage is extremely important because a steel structure can conduct heat efficiently if the building envelope is not properly designed. The appropriate insulation strategy depends on the climate zone, moisture conditions, structural system, and local energy requirements. Air sealing around windows, doors, penetrations, and transitions is also an important part of building performance. Moisture control must also be considered carefully so that condensation does not create long-term problems inside the wall or roof assembly. Once the basic envelope is established, the home's essential systems can be installed. Electrical circuits should be planned around the actual floor plan, appliance loads, lighting, outlets, and future needs. Plumbing should be coordinated with kitchens, bathrooms, laundry areas, and utility spaces to keep the system practical and serviceable. Heating and cooling systems should be sized and designed according to the completed building's actual characteristics, rather than simply choosing equipment based on floor area alone. Now the large open shell begins to become a real home. Interior partitions can separate private bedrooms and bathrooms from larger shared living spaces. The central breezeway remains visually open, preserving the essential Dogtrot concept. The kitchen is often one of the most important rooms in a modern barndominium.
A large island can provide preparation space, storage, and seating, while becoming a visual anchor for the open floor plan. Natural wood cabinetry can soften the harder appearance of the steel structure. The living room can take advantage of the dramatic roof volume that makes barndominiums distinctive. A fireplace can become a focal point, provided its installation is appropriately designed for the structure and local requirements. Large windows can make the room feel connected to the landscape and central breezeway. The private wing can be designed to feel quieter and more intimate than the main living area. The primary bedroom can include a private bathroom and carefully planned storage. Bathrooms can combine durable tile, stone-look surfaces, wood cabinetry, and modern fixtures. Flooring helps unify the different spaces throughout the home. Wood flooring can bring warmth to large open spaces, while tile or other durable surfaces may be better suited to bathrooms and mudrooms. Lighting should be layered rather than relying entirely on one central fixture. Warm lighting can emphasize wood, stone, and other natural textures once the sun goes down. The breezeway now becomes one of the most exciting spaces in the entire house. A durable floor surface makes the space easier to maintain because it remains exposed to outdoor conditions. Ceiling fans may also be useful in appropriate climates to improve comfort, although they do not replace proper ventilation or air conditioning. The house is not truly finished until it feels connected to the land around it. A simple landscape design can highlight the architecture instead of hiding it. A backyard patio can extend the living area and create another place for outdoor dining or relaxing. Lighting along pathways and outdoor living areas can make the property functional after sunset. After months of planning, construction, inspections, finishing work, and landscaping, the original empty field has become a completely different place. The finished home combines the structural practicality of a barndominium with the distinctive spatial organization of a dogtrot. The central breezeway becomes more than an architectural detail because it connects the home's rooms, landscape, and outdoor lifestyle. Inside, modern kitchens, comfortable bedrooms, practical bathrooms, efficient systems, and carefully selected materials make the home suitable for everyday life. Outside, the combination of steel, wood, stone, and landscaping gives the building a strong, rustic, modern identity.
The appeal of building a Dogtrot Barndominium is not simply about creating a large steel-framed house. It is about taking an old Southern architectural idea and adapting its most interesting qualities to contemporary living. The breezeway creates a strong connection between indoor and outdoor spaces, while the barndominium structure can provide flexible open areas and modern construction possibilities. But successful construction depends on professional design, proper engineering, appropriate materials, skilled workmanship, and compliance with local building requirements. The finished result is a home that feels unusual without being impractical, traditional without being outdated, and modern without losing its connection to the landscape. And perhaps that is what makes the Dogtrot Barndominium so fascinating. It takes a forgotten architectural idea and gives it a completely new life. From an empty piece of land to a finished home, every stage contributes to the final character of the building. And when the lights finally come on for the first evening, the structure is no longer just a construction project. It has become a place designed for living, gathering, relaxing, and enjoying the landscape around it.